Hey, do you remember Wuhu Island from Wii Sports? Ah, that place was so good. How much would it cost to live there? No, better yet, how much would it cost to own Wuhu Island? Yes, from the land, to the castle, to the town. I will calculate all of it. It will be very, very, very hard. I'm only counting things we can see on the island. I'm not going to include, say, a sewage system, because we never see a sewage system. We have to start somewhere for this massive calculation, so let's start with the land itself. How much does the land cost? Reddit user JCasey's34 calculated the size of Wuhu Island using the tennis courts as a ruler. Thanks, JCasey's34. The size is 2.68 square kilometers. Okay, cool, but how much is that worth? Using multiple websites, as Forbes is not known for being a reliable source, I found out that an average square kilometer of land costs $1,134,718.29 in Australian dollars. Yes, I'm doing the calculations in Aussie dollars because I am Aussie. I'll convert it to your local currency at the end. Anyway, multiplying that number by 2.68, the amount of square kilometers on Wuhu Island, we get a total of $2,979,171.73. Isn't that so cool?
Wait!
What?
The volcano!
What about it?
How much does it cost? Calculate it!
Well, oh, okay.
He fell right into my trap. The volcano is far too tall to be supported by its base. At an astounding 502 meters, it makes it taller than the highest point in the Netherlands, but shorter than Death Mountain. Because this volcano is not scientifically possible, he'll never figure it out.
Done! Phew, Sir Hamilton is gone. Anyway, I figured out the cost of the volcano by realizing that this question is meaningless. See, the volcano is part of the land. It's not to be sold separately, unlike the houses which you could just not buy from the means. If you buy the island, you're buying the volcano. So if it has no value, then we must give it a value. How much is the third dimension worth? I couldn't easily find the answer up online, so I'd have to think it up. I'd say $1 million. It can create fun things like sledge riding, but also it can delay buses. Anyway, our total is now $3,979,171.73. Ugh, all this nature is boring me. Let's go to the real fun stuff. Real estate! But before I do that, I've got a confession to make. But what is my confession? Find out after the break! No, it's not today's sponsor, but it's actually a clarification. I'm only counting things on the island.
What? I didn't know that, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
No, I mean anything that can be taken off the island is not counted, because it would be taken off before you buy it. Things like dumbbells, Duracell batteries, dandelions, dragon flute, and Pikmin 4 copies won't count. But the houses, hotels, harbors, hospitals, and other stuff like that will count. TLDL, we won't be counting anything in these sports, because they are not part of the island physically. Anyway, back to financial real estate costs. An average house costs $600,000 something. But these aren't average houses. They're really tiny average, making them cost an average of 300,000 AUD. Some houses are bigger than others, while some are quite smaller. But this doesn't matter. Why? Averages! Okay, that's cool, but how many are there? Well, count them. There's 32. And we should add the ones in Newtown. Count them. There's 10. Okay, we should resort to the sports. Let's start with the basketball court. A basketball court costs $30,024. Let's also add the 2 tennis courts at the Countryballs Hotel. A tennis court costs $30,679.80. But there are 2 of them, so times that number by 2. Okay, this is getting boring. Let's do golf! Now, I can already hear all the kids in my sport class getting their noble binds out and trying to assassinate me and end my legacy right here. How dare you say that golf is better than basketball! 30 wedge islands fit in this picture, which we know is 8 square kilometers, thanks to the help of JCasey's34. A pretty good pun if you ask me. 8 square kilometers divided by 30 is 0.26 square kilometers. 0.26 square kilometers in square meters is 266,666 square meters. Now, looking at this picture, we can say that a third of Wedge Island is golf green. That means there are 88,888 square meters of golf green on Wuhu Island. An average square meter of golf green is $100. 88,000 times $100 is $8,888,800. That was hard.
No, it wasn't.
Now, let's do bowling. According to this guy on Quora.com, the local bowling alley with 20 lanes is selling for $1,300,000. Now, we could just use this amount for the cost of the bowling alley, or we could do it the fun way. Let's find the cost of a bowling lane and times it by the amount of bowling lanes there are at the bowling alley on Wuhu Island. Let's use the price of the Quora.com bowling alley as a base for our calculations. First, let's write down the cost of the bowling alley we're basing the price off. Next, let's subtract 300,000 from the calculation, because that's how much the non-lane parts of the bowling alley costs, and also to make the maths easier. Now, we've got to find the cost of an individual bowling lane. You do that by dividing the cost of all the bowling lanes together by the amount of bowling lanes there are. And our source bowling alley has 20. So, $1 million divided by 20, which is $50,000. Now, you multiply $50,000 by the amount of bowling lanes there are on Wuhu Island's bowling alley. But how many lanes are there? Well, we can see from this image that there are 13 lanes, but 13 is a cursed number, so we'll just assume that Wii Sports Incorporated has put 15 lanes in it. $50,000 times 15 is $750,000. Adding the $300,000 that we removed at the beginning, the bowling alley on Wuhu Island costs $1,050,000. Finally, let's do the Swordplay Coliseum. First off, they actually use the wrong spelling of Colosseum. Colosseum can only be used for Roman Colosseums, and this is definitely not Roman. Second off, and more importantly, why am I not excited to do this one? Well, I have to guess. The best information I could find relating to the cost of the Swordplay Coliseum in real life is 2 people playing swordplay with pool noodles in the pool. So, I'm resorting to this last option. I can't find the cost of Wuhu Island Swordplay Coliseum.
I know, but he can.
That's right. I'm using man's mortal enemy, AI. Basically, I had a long conversation with the AI. No, I'm talking.
No, I am.
But it says here on the script, me.
That script is outdated.
What?
Basically, I had...
Robots are allergic to tea. Basically, I had a long conversation with the AI to figure out the cost, since I am not a keen engineer. We ended up settling out of court for $150,074. Let's recap all the sports. Adding all their totals up, it comes out with this amount of money. What? I just got a comment. Really? How annoying. We interrupt this broadcast to talk about the cost of all of Wuhu Island's bridges. First off, there are the swaying bridges, which for the calculations, I added together and found the cost of 1 year swaying bridge. Okay, it's complicated, but just add $135,000 to the total. Next is the brick bridge, which costs $19,800. Yes, I'm aware this is exactly the same cost as a brick bridge at Animal Crossing, but I remember seeing this cost somewhere online. Plus, 1 bell at Animal Crossing is 1 yen, and 1 yen equals 10 cents, so it's literally correct. Next, there are the 2 stone bridges on Wuhu Island, the one next to Summerstone Castle and the one next to Summerstone Castle. A single stone bridge costs $20,000. I don't know how or why it costs more than a brick bridge, but it does. So let's add $40,000 to our total. Finally, there's the Red Iron Bridge, which we'll get back to later. Okay, back to your irregularly scheduled program. Now, this is where the fun begins. The roads are really fun to calculate. First, I have to find out the length of the road itself. How will I get the length? Using fitness programs. In Wii Fit's free jogging, you can jog for 10, 20, or 30 minutes in place while you watch the TV. But if you don't know how to change the channel on the TV, like me, you can keep playing the game. You will see a little meter counter in the corner. It shows how many meters you have ran. Duh. The best part is, the path you jog on in free jogging is the bitumen road that goes all around of Wuhu Island. After I did 8 minutes of exhausting physical exercise, which may sound surprising to some, I found the length of the road to be 2,619 meters long. According to bitrate.com.au, 1 kilometer of road costs $5 million. So now we do the multiplication. Right, wrong. I've done tons of research, and sources say this is not bitumen. This is 2.5 of our rulers long, so let's subtract 119 meters from the calculation. Or should we? Because remember this, on Wedge Island, the road is 1.5 of our ruler, making it 114 meters long. So we've got to re-add that to the calculation. 2,619 minus 190 plus 114 is actually just 2,619 minus 76, which is 2,543. 2.543 times 5 million is $12,715,000. Time for bitumen's brother, gravel. Now, since you can't free jog on the gravel, we have to figure it out ourselves. What better way than to use the Red Iron Bridge as a ruler? Finding the difference between the meter count when you get on the bridge and when you get off the bridge tells us the length of the bridge.
Well, obviously, that's how differences work.
Oops, sorry. This is our new ruler. It's 152 meters long. But let's divide it in two to make it more versatile. It's now 76 meters long. 76. Now we draw lines that are 76 meters long all across the gravel on Wuhu Island. We multiply 76 by the amount of lines we have drawn, which gives us 4,560 meters. 1 kilometer of gravel road costs $28,165.20. Multiplying that number by 4.56 kilometers gives us $128,433.31 for the cost of the gravel road. It is time to calculate the Red Iron Bridge. The Red Iron Bridge is obviously inspired by the Golden Gate Bridge. In fact, in PAL versions, it's called the Red Gate Bridge. No points for subtlety. Let's just get the cost of the Golden Gate Bridge and use $6.5 billion. Any billionaires want to back me up? Oh wait, the Golden Gate Bridge is 2,763 meters long. Well, actually, it's 2,737 meters long, but can we pretend? The Red Iron Bridge, as stated earlier, is 152 meters long. Dividing 2,737 by 152 gives us the number 18. The Red Iron Bridge is 18 times shorter than the Golden Gate Bridge, so it must be 18 times cheaper. Dividing $6.5 billion by 18 gives us $361 million. Still quite big. Well, the Golden Gate Bridge is quite old. Iron shafts back then were expensive, so the price must be cut down so much that it's now a third of what we just said. That gives us $120 million. Still expensive in my eyes, but who knows? I thought the Swordplay Coliseum would cost only $1,000, but I was dead wrong. Unfortunately, I can't ask the AI that I asked earlier because it has been plugged in life support for the past 2 months because of me spilling tea on it, and the hospital is too far away. Or something like that. Now, unfortunately, we've reached a problem. All the fun ones are gone. First, let's do the ones where I literally just Googled the price of it and then insert it in. I'll do a little montage for it. The weathered monument is $20,000 because there's a lot of stones and rare gems and minerals in there. The menhirs are basically the moais on Easter Island, so I found out how much stone there is on the moais, and then I converted the amount of stone into dollars, and then added $1,000 for labor. But this is long ago. Ancient labor wasn't that good. Yes, but one of them is in a volcano, okay? The mysterious ruins cost $1.2 million. They're big, they're famous, and they're probably a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lighthouses are already expensive, but considering the canal was accidentally built at twice the size it was planned, yeah, I can see why this one costs so much. And finally, Summerstone Castle, a good place to end it off. $500,000. With all that taken into account, our final total is now...
Hold it! You forgot about the house on the deserted island!
I did!
This is such a crime for you forgetting about this. I'm gonna kill you!
You can't kill me, you're rapidly aging.
And you wear effeminate clothing.
Are we gonna have a problem?
You best switch up that attitude.
Jesus Christ!
I couldn't attend their funeral due to my hospitalization. I have been entrusted to tell the cost of Wuhu Island. $192,096,683.68. They requested I convert the cost into other currencies to promote inclusion. $131,374,921 United States dollars and 97 cents. 100,510,959.11 pounds sterling. 482,553,225.88 United Arab Emirates dirhams. 116,975,220.09 euros. 905,498,365.20 Boliviano.